There are always individuals who carry an aura that makes others notice them without ever asking for recognition. They never demand to be admired, yet people naturally pay attention. They do not attempt to prove their significance, but those around them assume they are important. This quality cannot be bought with wealth because even people who possess little in terms of resources can display it. It is not a matter of physical appearance either, since those who may not be striking by conventional standards often hold the room captive when they walk in. Nor is it necessarily tied to sharp intellect, as many bright minds fade into the background, unseen and unheard. What these individuals carry is intangible yet immensely powerful. It subtly alters every encounter and silently shapes the dynamics in their favor. The surprising reality is that this idea has existed openly for centuries, mentioned by thinkers and strategists, but almost no one has learned to recognize and use it. Writings from long ago describe how figures of authority relied on this principle to maintain their grip on influence, and even now the majority of people overlook its presence. Once you recognize it, however, you cannot ignore it. It is like learning to see patterns that were hidden in plain view. Suddenly, you can tell the difference between those who truly possess authority and those who merely perform the role. You start recognizing why some individuals attract opportunities while others watch from the sidelines. If you truly want to embody this, affirm silently that you choose to embody the unseen force that bends outcomes in your favor, and prepare to explore what has been described as one of the most potent hidden strategies of human interaction. From an early age, many are misled into believing that dominance comes from being the loudest in the room or showing constant aggression. But what is often celebrated as strength is actually weakness masquerading as control. Those who shout the most often reveal their insecurity. Real strength does not need noise. True power manifests quietly, influencing others without visible effort. Consider people you know directly rather than distant celebrities. Do they constantly interrupt or boast about their victories? More likely, they hold a calm presence, yet everyone listens when they speak. Their magnetism comes not from clamoring for approval, but from a subtle dominance that requires no announcement. This form of influence makes others curious, forces them to interpret, and establishes authority without visible struggle. It is a kind of invisible superiority, and it offers the most unfair advantage one can possess. While others exhaust themselves trying to prove their worth, you stand apart, automatically respected and taken seriously. The real impact lies in the fact that nobody can pinpoint exactly what you are doing. It feels natural, inevitable, and undeniable. Meanwhile, the average person exposes themselves by oversharing, constantly broadcasting emotions, revealing insecurities, and asking to be validated. Invisible dominance works differently. It keeps people guessing, builds intrigue, and makes your silence more powerful than another's words. Historical thinkers remark that people always notice appearances, but only a few ever understand the hidden reality beneath them. This is the essence of invisible dominance, letting others see only fragments while maintaining the real leverage unseen. One of the greatest mistakes people make in pursuit of influence is assuming that openness equals power. Many think that transparency proves authenticity, but in reality, it provides others with the tools to control you. If everyone can anticipate your reaction, your feelings, or your decisions, then you are no longer independent. You are an easy target. Predictability becomes a leash that others can pull whenever they want. The individuals who consistently get their way rarely announce their entire plans or reveal their internal state. They are deliberate about when and how to disclose information. Predictability is the downfall of authority. Once someone knows what words anger you, they can use them strategically. Once they learn which compliments please you, they can bend your behavior with flattery. If they know your weaknesses, they can manipulate you at will. Those who wield true control treat their words and emotions as valuable currency, spending them with calculation. The undisciplined give theirs away freely, then wonder why they are ignored, disrespected, or used. Every unnecessary explanation chips away at your credibility. Every visible overreaction erodes respect. Authority is not destroyed by silence, but by constant broadcasting. To counter this, you must learn to reveal selectively, to withhold intentionally, and to share only what advances your goals. This is not dishonesty. It is strategy. When you become unreadable, people cannot categorize you, and uncertainty keeps them cautious. Embrace the affirmation that you are unreadable, unpredictable, and therefore beyond manipulation. Another overlooked principle is that in any discussion, it is not the one speaking most who holds power, but the one guiding the flow through questions and listening. Those who rush to speak, filling every silence, think they are controlling the moment, but in truth, they are exposing themselves. Each word reveals more about their motives, fears, and hidden desires. Meanwhile, the one who remains observant gathers an abundance of knowledge without revealing anything. This quiet observer notices patterns others miss, slight shifts in tone, words that reveal insecurity, reactions that expose hidden truths. This information becomes an arsenal that can later be used with precision. Observing does not mean disconnecting or being cold. It means contributing wisely. Instead of speaking impulsively, you ask questions that uncover more than people intended to share. You respond at moments that create impact, ensuring your words resonate longer than endless chatter. You avoid filling silence with nervous noise, and in doing so, you project calm certainty. The result is that others begin to see you as the person who listens, evaluates, and delivers insights with weight. This combination of silence and precision forces people to respect your presence. They may not even understand why, but they feel compelled to value what you say. The person who knows how to observe strategically ends up shaping conversations without appearing to dominate them. Adopt the affirmation: I speak sparingly, I listen with depth, and I gain strength through silence. Human psychology follows certain patterns, and one of the most reliable is that rarity increases value. The more available something is, the less people appreciate it. Many individuals make the error of always being accessible, of responding instantly, of saying yes to everything. In doing so, they unconsciously teach others that their time is cheap. But when you become more selective, your value rises. Scarcity is not about manipulation, but about recognition of worth. Think about treasures, gold, diamonds, art. They are respected because they are rare, not because they are everywhere. The same principle applies to your presence. If you appear everywhere and respond to everything, you blend into the background. But if your presence is occasional and intentional, people treat it like a privilege. They notice more when you arrive. They pay closer attention when you speak. They weigh your contributions more heavily because they know you do not give them lightly. Even in relationships and friendships, the more available you are, the more you risk being taken for granted. By controlling access to your energy, you increase the value of your attention. You become the person people seek, not the one who seeks them. Affirm this belief: my presence is rare, my time is priceless, and my attention is earned. A related idea is that most people confuse constant activity with importance. They believe being present everywhere, offering opinions on everything, makes them more significant. But the reality is the opposite. Spreading yourself thin makes you ordinary. Strategic presence, however, makes you unforgettable. When you appear selectively at the right moment, you create maximum effect. People remember your appearance long after the event ends. They recall your words because you spoke only when the timing magnified them. This requires discipline because it means declining opportunities that are good but not great. It means stepping back when others rush in, waiting for the exact moment when your involvement will shift the atmosphere. This is the art of knowing when to be unseen and when to command attention. Sometimes you must play the fox, quietly analyzing the terrain. At other times, you must embody the lion, stepping forward with authority that silences the crowd. Both roles are valuable, but wisdom lies in knowing which to use and when. When you master this, your presence becomes legendary, your actions echo beyond the moment, and your absence even becomes powerful because people wonder about you. Remember, leaving at the right time can be more impactful than arriving. Embrace the affirmation: I decide where to be, I decide when to speak, and I decide when to leave. One of the final and most decisive factors in true influence is emotional command. Daily, people attempt to manipulate others through subtle tactics. They offer compliments to gain favor, throw insults to provoke reactions, or apply pressure to rush decisions. Those without control over their emotions fall into every trap. They respond with anger when insulted, becoming predictable. They get flattered and let down their guard, becoming manipulable. They react to urgency and make errors. Emotional mastery does not mean ignoring feelings. It means recognizing them without being ruled by them. Anger, praise, fear, or urgency all provide information. But information should guide strategy, not dictate reaction. When you learn to pause, evaluate, and decide whether a response serves your interests, you maintain control. This composure confuses manipulators and prevents exploitation. Consider a moment where someone wanted to provoke you into an outburst, hoping to use your reaction against you later. By refusing to take the bait, you protect yourself. Or when someone tried to trap you into a rushed decision by manufacturing urgency, but you resisted, taking time to consider carefully. These moments define whether you hold power or surrender it. As thinkers have pointed out, history repeats itself. Those who cannot control emotions are always controlled by others. Accept the affirmation, "My emotions inform me, but they do not command me." I choose responses that serve me. People often attempt to steer your choices through guilt or fear, hoping you will bend to their influence. But real power begins when you recognize the tactic and refuse to become a pawn in someone else's game. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause, evaluate the true alternatives, and decide what genuinely benefits your interests. That pause does not make you detached or heartless, it shows strength and awareness. Anyone can be swept away by manipulation, but it is rare to remain calm when pressure is rising. In situations where confusion surrounds you and everyone else reacts emotionally, staying composed makes people naturally seek your leadership. In moments when panic spreads, your steadiness becomes the anchor others trust. When tension escalates and emotions run high, you separate feeling from action. And this separation allows you to stand out as the one who can guide the storm, rather than being consumed by it. There exists a weapon few are willing to use, though it costs nothing and requires no elaborate skill: silence. The reason most individuals shy away from it is because they feel uneasy when words are absent. They mistake stillness for weakness, or they assume every pause must be filled with chatter. They believe that value comes only from speaking continuously, yet the opposite is true. The deliberate use of silence is far stronger than endless explanations. It creates gaps where others expose themselves, because quietness unsettles them and forces them to fill the void. It builds anticipation so that when you finally choose to speak, your words strike with greater force. It shows confidence in ways that excessive talking never could. Of course, silence without purpose just looks awkward, but silence employed with strategy becomes authority. After making an important statement, stop instead of justifying it. When someone sets a trap with a question, take time before responding and let them stew in the pause. In heated conversations where everyone is raising voices, the one who remains quiet becomes the focal point. And in negotiations, silence makes the other side nervous enough to reveal truths you were never supposed to hear. The fascinating aspect of silence is how uncomfortable it makes others. Most people will rush to speak, blurting out their secrets, exposing insecurities, and revealing weaknesses, just to escape a few seconds of stillness. That is when silence becomes a tool of information gathering. While they babble, you observe. While they try to over-explain, you calculate. While they stumble over words to avoid quiet, you accumulate leverage. It also shifts the balance of value. If people know you do not respond to every comment or every request, they weigh their words more carefully around you. Your reactions become events rather than background noise. Every time you finally speak after holding silence, it becomes memorable because it contrasts so sharply with the endless noise of others. Silence makes your voice rare, and rarity makes your voice valuable. Embrace the truth that restraint is not absence. It is command. Another critical mistake that destroys hidden power is the eagerness to reveal every ability up front. Many believe showcasing their full skill set immediately builds credibility, but this is an illusion. Displaying everything at once removes curiosity, strips away mystery, and gives others the blueprint to counter you. When you are entirely transparent, you become predictable, and predictability breeds control from the outside. The wise reveal their abilities gradually, holding back pieces that can surprise when necessary. Whether it is knowledge, resources, or connections, you must resist the urge to reveal your full arsenal in the first encounter. Give enough for people to respect your competence, but always leave something undisclosed. This isn't dishonesty, it is selectivity. You are not withholding truth, but rather choosing timing. By doing so, you maintain flexibility, ensure others cannot prepare defenses against you, and keep curiosity alive, which sustains interest in who you are and what you might yet deliver. Maintaining hidden capabilities offers multiple benefits. When underestimated, you can stun people with an ability they did not know you had. When situations shift, you have reserves of power you never displayed, giving you adaptability. When people are unsure of your full capacity, they cannot devise ways to weaken you. Every unrevealed skill becomes a private safeguard, every piece of undisclosed knowledge a hidden card to be played only at the right time. Transparency may win applause for a moment, but mystery secures leverage indefinitely. Respect often comes from what is visible, but influence is built from what remains unseen. By never placing all your cards on the table, you create fascination, and fascination strengthens your hold on others. A principle of psychology gives even more advantage. Uncertainty drives effort. When people cannot predict what you will do next, they hesitate, reevaluate, and often overcompensate. They work harder to gain your favor. They second-guess themselves, and they remain engaged because they cannot settle into complacency. If you are entirely predictable, people stop trying. They know exactly what will happen and lose interest in impressing you. But if you introduce controlled unpredictability, people stay attentive, alert, and cautious. It is not about being random or inconsistent. It is about being strategic. Sometimes you respond quickly to demonstrate decisiveness. Other times you delay to show patience. Sometimes you are warm and open, sometimes measured and distant. People begin to treasure the moments of warmth because they are not guaranteed. By varying your timing, responses, and presence, you ensure that others remain invested in every interaction, never knowing which version of you they will encounter. This keeps them sharp, attentive, and respectful. The truth is that those who cannot be read hold the greatest influence. When someone knows your every trigger, they can push your buttons at will. When someone knows exactly when you will speak, they can ignore you until then. But when you remain slightly uncertain in your responses, they cannot risk taking you lightly. Predictability may feel safe, but it is the death of authority. Controlled unpredictability, however, generates engagement and keeps people invested. It ensures you are never taken for granted. Affirm the mindset. Your values remain constant, but your methods stay flexible, keeping you beyond the reach of easy control. Becoming someone who operates with this invisible dominance is not about personality change. It is about adopting sharper strategies. You are not pretending to be someone else, but elevating yourself to a more powerful version of who you already are. This requires stripping away habits that drain your influence. The first habit to abandon is the craving for constant validation. Seeking approval makes you dependent on others' opinions and undermines your independence. The second habit is over-explaining. Every boundary does not require justification. Every choice does not need an essay. Sometimes a firm answer is stronger than endless reasoning. The third habit is emotional reactivity. Feeling emotions is natural, but responding impulsively to them gives away control. Your first impulse rarely benefits you strategically. Learn to process privately and act intentionally. In place of these destructive habits, build practices that strengthen your influence. Begin with deliberate pauses before answering important questions. This pause allows you to think strategically rather than react emotionally. Ask more questions than you make statements. Questions gather information and direct conversations, while statements merely reveal your hand. Be selectively available. Make your time something that must be respected and earned, not taken for granted. Speak with precision. Every word should advance your purpose, and unnecessary chatter should be cut away. By doing these things, you transform from someone trying to be noticed into someone others cannot ignore. You become the one whose presence shifts energy, whose words hold weight, and whose opinion changes outcomes without force. This hidden dominance works not in spotlights, but in shadows. While others fight desperately to be seen and heard, you operate from control and composure. Their demand for recognition is weakness. Your ability to create influence without noise is power. Their reliance on external approval binds them. Your reliance on strategy frees you. Each day provides a chance to practice this. Every conversation is an opportunity to listen more, reveal less, and speak with intention. Every decision is a moment to act strategically instead of emotionally. Every interaction is a chance to be unreadable, mysterious, and therefore untouchable. When you stop rushing to impress and instead start focusing on perception, silence, unpredictability, and emotional mastery, you gradually step into a realm where others cannot manipulate you. You become someone who exerts influence invisibly, without needing to declare it. People look to you not because you demanded their attention, but because you earned their respect through strategy. The most overlooked truth is that the most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest or most aggressive, but the one who cannot be easily understood, predicted, or controlled. That person becomes untouchable, and untouchable individuals shape reality around them. So remember, while others chase attention, choose to become the force that does not need it. While others reveal every detail, keep something in reserve. While others speak endlessly, master the silence that unsettles. While others react emotionally, control yourself and act with calculation. This is the art of invisible dominance. This is the ultimate advantage, and it belongs to you the moment you decide to use it.